Hello, everyone, and welcome to Principles. I want to say episode 9. So let's pick up right where we left off. We're going to repeat point 2.3. So, diagnose problems to get at their root causes. I spoke about this a bit on the last episode. It's very important to figure out why you have a problem. When you go to the doctor and you're sick, the first thing they do is diagnose you. They don't just give you, strep throat medicine when you have a cough. They diagnose the problem to get at its root cause, and then they give you the medicine to fix it, whether it's antibiotics, whatever. Cool. This is part of Ray's, 5-step process, I believe. So, letter A, focus on what is before deciding what to do about it. So I think that's pretty much the same thing. Focus on the what is before deciding what to do about it. So, sometimes it's great if you're nervous to just kind of jump in and do something. But if it comes to like a problem, like we talked about nicotine addiction last week, if it's like what is before what to do, but it's like, I'm not going to think about, what is my problem. I'm just going to be like, oh, I'll just get a patch, or I'll just start chewing, Nicorette or whatever. It's like, no, you really should think about what is the real thing that you want to change. Before you start doing something to make change, you should think about what do you want to change. So that's letter A. Let's go on to letter B. Distinguish proximate causes from root causes. Okay, so here I have a definition for proximate. I left the room because I was insulted. The root was I was insulted because I am mean, or they were mean. So proximate is the reason. The root, no, proximate is like this is tough. All right, let's look back at it again. Maybe we'll have to look up the definition another time. Distinguish proximate causes from root causes. So the example I gave is proximate. I left the room because I was insulted. Root. I was insulted because I am mean. Oh, so proximate is kind of more like result. Or let's see if I can real quick look up the word proximate. A proximate cause is an event sufficiently related to an injury that the courts deem to be the events to be the cause of the injury. Okay, one more. Nearly accurate, approximate. Okay, sorry about this, guys. I don't really know what that means. I left the room because I was insulted. The root of that is I was insulted because I'm mean. So I was being mean, and then I was insulted, and then I left the room because I was insulted. But the real reason I was insulted was because I was mean. You guys can mull that over. I don't like to waste time on these videos, but that's a bit confusing. But again, Ray wouldn't have put it in the book if it wasn't valuable. So, letter C. Recognize that knowing what someone is like will tell you what you can expect from them. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? Knowing what someone's like. If your friend always insults you, probably going to do it again. If your friend's always supportive, probably going to be supportive. No time needed to waste on that one. Pretty simple. Now we are on to 2.4. So we're fixing a problem. That's what this is, the 5-step process to fix a problem. 2.4, design a plan. All right, design a plan. Any objections there? Not a chance. All right. Go back, letter A, Go back before you go forward. So that's very related to letter A of 2.3, focus on what is before deciding to do what's next. When you're designing a plan, you go back before you go forward. Whenever I lose something, all right, I lost my keys. Now, that's the problem. We got to find the keys. So the most useful thing I do is, when they say retrace your steps, I literally retrace my steps. I'll go back exactly to do what I did. And, 9 times out of 10, when I lose something, I figure it out right away and I find it. And that is by going back before going forward. It's like, oh, I start stressing out. It's like, let's call the police and say I lost my keys and do all this. It's like, first thing you do, you go back. Think about what happened in the past to figure out what you should do in the future, because you'll get insight. And that's kind of Ray's whole thing, is he's looked at historical data on the market for years. He studied it very closely, and it can be misleading, and he'll admit that. And he's had mistakes. But you can't predict the future. You can only look at what has happened in the past and pick up on trends. And if you read the book, which of course, if you watched all of these videos, you definitely need to read this book. But he'll talk a lot about that, and he'll talk a lot about that in his interviews as well. So go back before you go forward. All right, B. Think about your problem as a set of outcomes produced by a machine. Think about your problem as a set of outcomes produced by a machine. Okay, so you've built this machine that's causing you problems. Like you're in control of your own life. We all know I believe in that. So we'll keep going with the nicotine addiction because it's very, very common. Is you've put an input in that will never be undone. If your body's a machine, your life is a machine. When you took that drag of that cigarette, you've created this machine, this new machine. This is now a machine that's always had nicotine, whereas my machine has never ingested nicotine. So we have two fundamental different things. You can think about it, it's like when you drop food coloring into water. Like that water I guess you could get the coloring out somehow, but it will always be a different color from like my glass, which is like clear. And I'm not trying to be a dick here if you smoke cigarettes, but it's the reality of the situation. You've altered your machine. So think about your problem as a set of outcomes produced by a machine. So how can you change the machine? You might not be able to move backward, but looking back can give you insight for how to move forward. Fair enough. All right. Remember that there are typically many paths to achieving your goals. Again, it's not just the Nicorette. It's not just the patch. It might be more powerful to reform your mind than to get external, inputs to change your habits. Like I said in previous videos, you can do anything you want. I believe you can live forever. That's crazy. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. Like, I do believe you can do anything. And that means, kicking your addiction. It might be in the back. If you can organize your brain kind of like I do, it's like I get up, I do this, I do that. You become, very disciplined, strong, and strong-willed. You do what you have to do no matter what. You can accomplish anything. And you can do that through many different pathways. But I think it's going to be very important to be disciplined, not based on what other people say you should do, but based on what you believe is best for you. That's what I think. Think of your plan as being a movie script in that you visualize who will do what through time. So in video class, we used to do like storyboards where you would draw I would draw like stick figures or whatever of what was going on, and it would help you like visualize how you're going to make the scene. And I think it's very relevant to do that as well. If you're going to go knock on a door and be like, knock, 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 like you kind of play through your head how it's going to go. Like, they're probably going to be like, I'm not looking to sell. So then you be prepared for that. And it's a movie, it's a script. So you have a plan of action for what to say when someone's like, no, I'm not interested. It's like, hey, that's cool, man. Like, most people aren't, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Like, you're ready, you're prepared. And sometimes it takes repetition to do that. So, think of your plan as being a movie script in that you visualize who will do what through time. So that might mean like after, I have a vision for my business is like after I knock on, 20,000 doors, I'll have an assistant who's going to be doing like addressing letters and stuff like that. So it involves like having multiple actors in the scene. So this is all really good advice. I started the series off disagreeing with his points, and I wouldn't take them all as gospel, but it's good advice for being successful, generally speaking. I'm kind of transitioning this into more an open form thing, whereas my vlogs, I think, are going to try and make quick more appeal. This is for people who want to like dive deeper into my psyche, I think. And I mean, I don't know if you want to do that. Whoever's, like I said, I always say, I don't know who's watching this, but Ethan in the future, what's good, bro? Here's a really great one. Write down your plan for everyone to see and measure your progress against it. Bang. What am I doing with the vlogs? What am I doing with this sheet? Write down your plan. This is so powerful. Tell everyone. I know you shouldn't care about what anyone else thinks, but still, the power of telling everyone, you're not only telling yourself, you're telling the whole world, I'm going to do this so that when you fail even harder and you reflect even harder and you figure out how you can change and how you can improve from where you're at. This is the best. This is my favorite one of today. Write down your plan for everyone to see it and measure your progress against it. I only got 89 people last week. That is a failure. I have to make sure that never happens again. And I've been saying that for weeks. But eventually I will get to this point where no matter what, I 100%, I remove every single thing that can potentially allow me to fail and just keep succeeding. And then I'm choosing to do this through like video format. You can have a blog, you can write your goals down and text it to all your friends. You can do anything. Again, there's multiple ways to achieve. What did we say? Oh, I'm sorry. There are typical many ways to achieving your goals. I think one of them will involve you have to write them down, at least for yourself. If not, share with everyone, because then you're more likely to be held accountable. That's what I do with my vlogs. This is the last one. Recognize it doesn't take a lot of time to design a good plan. Once you get at that root cause, once you figure out what the problem is, it might not be what you want to do, but you can make a good plan. It's discipline. It's knowing what you have to do and just doing it. And now I talked about this on the vlog. It's like I knew I had to do the 8 and 8, but I was like, oh, I won't do it. It's like, I'll just do the 33 touch. It's like, nope. You have to do what you know you have to do. If you can think things through and it makes sense to you, it's not that complicated for me to send letters to people or talk to people every single week. It might not be easy or fun per se. It turns out to be fun, but you might not be ready for this emotional roller coaster that you're going on. But if you know you have to do it, and this is the problem, Ethan's broke. Actually, no, not problem. Ethan wants to be very successful and isn't yet. What is the path to success? Read Principles by Ray Dalio. That's all I'll say to that. Hope you all are having a fantastic day, staying positive, staying frosty, and I will see you again on Principles next week. And hopefully we'll get to how to win friends and influence people pretty soon. Maybe I'll start making both episodes. I don't know. 2012.